let me start to introduce our factory owner, Mr. Tao. What I'll do, I will start to sharing um, the company detail. And for further information, if you've got any questions, you can contact with me or contact with the factory directly for facilities. So this company, Mr. Tao, is the owner of the TTC Group and cassava processing technology equipment, mainly focusing on the machinery for cassavas. All right. So let's go through. I'll quickly go through the company profile and focus on the area for cassava starch, also cassava powder as well. So TTC Group was founded in 1998, back like 20 years ago, and have a massive clients in China, Southeast Asia, and also in Nigeria and Africa as well. So the company are focused on cassava processing technology and equipment. All right. So what service this company can provide to the customer or clients? Engineering consultants, cassava starch, engineering design, engineering procurement, and engineering installation, equipment commission, which is to installation, training of staff, aftermarket service, and look after the machine and even to modify or upgrade your existing plant. For cassava starch, the product mainly focus on products. So cassava starch, you might call that tapioca starch, cassava protein, cassava added fibers, cassava flour, even produce the fufu and gari. I think in Nigeria or Ghana, you might have that request as well. This factory does produce the machinery for or process for fufu, for food grade, cassava flour, fufu and gari. Also modified starch, starch sweetener, and fermento product, including alcohol and all different areas. Biogas energy. I think I remember somebody asked me a question about biogas energy. This factory also provide that service, machinery for that service as well. All right. Today's more focused on the cassava starch process. I'll make that this area bigger. Can you guys see my screen? Sorry. Can you guys see my screen here? All right. Thanks. All right. I'll keep going. We have so there's a whole process including cleaning, washing. You got raw material come through the factory or process, start to clean them, going to the conveyor, and going to the concentration, remove all the dust, even somehow clean the skin. Um, so after that, the cassava will treat it as remove almost the all fibers from the process. Go to step three, and also we are going to go to the crude starch is refined by the machine to separate the protein, fine fiber, salt, and all the other elements. We call that refining process. After that, we're going to have the most part of the moisture in the starch milk is removed by this step five, including
Sorry,
vacuum filter.
sorry, Will. Are you
Yes.
projecting something? Are you showing something on the screen right now? Because we're just seeing a blank screen.
Oh, I am. The
I
team
think
see
I think it's
my.
from you. I think it's from you a lot because I can see what it's showing. Probably you could restart your screen or you could restart your Teams again and coming.
Okay, okay. I leave. I'll just join because what I'm seeing nothing appearing right now. Okay.
Yeah, sure. Go. Yeah, you can come back again, and if you got any issues and problems, we have a backup plan. So I have this meeting recorded, and gonna share with the team who joined during this meeting. If you are not able to see my screen or have difficulty with connections, I see Lee joined the meeting as well. Hey Lee, welcome.
Hi, thank you.
All right, why don't
Fine.
you come here? So we just kick off the earlier.
Yeah.
So I'll just Lee, I'll
Yeah.
just give you for the team coming later, just briefly
It's better now.
introduce.
Now I'm seeing everything. It's okay for me,
No
huh?
worries.
Well, thank you.
Okay, no worries. So we got a factory owner, Mr. Tao, in this TTC group, and After this meeting, I'm gonna share all the documentation, presentation through emails because I'll go you guys email and you're gonna see all the detail. This video got to be recorded for further broader team understanding and share with people who are interested for cassava processing. Lee, before you come in here, this company TTC Group is doing the modified starch, cassava starch, also cassava flour, fufu gari processing, modified starch, starch sweetener, and a fermento product and also
Okay.
biogas energy machinery and processing as well.
Wow. Okay. All from cassava?
Yes.
Even the biogas?
Good question. I don't know. We can ask Mr. Tal later.
Okay. Okay.
That's for Q and A. Team can ask any question. We have Mr.
Okay.
Tal in here to support anything. All right. So
Okay.
now we go to the processing cleaning and peel off the skin, remove the fibers, and step 5, we're gonna most of the part of moisture in starch milk is removed, and drying and storing and packing. So, all right. So this is the overall. If you look at the plant layout, you're gonna have somehow coming through. I let me see. The raw material coming from here. If you look at, if I want to make it bigger, right? So the raw material coming from here. You see down there. The raw material coming here, raw material, fresh cassava coming here, and you go to the convey and clean them and wash them, and it goes through all the different process. And end of the day, gonna packing over here. But you're gonna see the detail. I won't explain detail here. So now we go to the next page for modify. This is all the engineering technology modified starch. Um, and yeah, see all the detail there. And this is for the type of starch sugars. Engineering technology. This is for the processing technology. This is for cassava flour, not for starch flour. I won't go through the detail. I'll probably quickly, roughly, raw material cleaning, concentrating and the press and feeding, remove all the waters. Because I think many in Nigeria are manual processing, and here you got all the auto processing, and then here you got to cook as well, called Gary and fufu. I don't have a cost for this one. I only have a starch level. You can ask. We can ask Mr. Tao if you request for the other machinery. So, all right, this is the overall, and then you will see all the mechanical equipment over here. How that look like? The drum cleaner, drum washer, and chopper, rasper, and washer again. That's for the starch. You might need them. I think if you want to order one, you need all of them. Um, but maybe depend the size of the machine, the cost might be different. But we can capture that probably in more detail later on. All right. This company also do DNR. So if you have a special request, that I want to have this and this and this, the engineering team in and TTC group gonna share and help comes because they are able to, they have the capability for DNR and to improve. Right. This is all the existing customers. So you see here Kofco, one of the biggest player in the food industry is Kofco, and all the other local as well. And over here, um, all right. So this is the project cases, which is they have a Vietnam 40 ton cassava starch in Vietnam, installed 120 in Indonesia and Cambodia. This is the company um, map. If you look at here, many in China, they have all the service or distributors or office in different countries, Russia and India, or Ghana, even Ghana, and Congo and Australia as well. So that be able to supply the aftermarket service. All right. So now I think I just roughly go through all the detail there. So any I'll stop sharing and to see if team got any questions before we move to the next step. Hi, Ronald. I just see your video there.
I have a few
Yeah, I'm here.
questions.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So my first question is that most of us in Africa here, we are on a startup level, you know. So when we look at wanting to engage the cassava starch or you know, here there was many products that were coming from cassava, like cassava flour, starch, modified starch, starch sugars,
Yeah.
and biogas. I think were all of
Yeah.
them, right? I've also seen like charcoal bricks being made from cassava skins. Very effective burning. They have a high burn rate. Very effective.
Yeah.
So I added that cassava skins for charcoal bricks, brick making. But we want to know, like, from a startup perspective, if we want to engage but still be in the market, you know, not local market, in the international market, then what would be the recommended minimum output? That is my first question. So for the
Okay.
starch, what would be the minimum recommended output? And
Okay.
second question I have is, what would be the space requirement on that output? Because you need to
Okay.
have a warehouse space, you need to have land, right? And then you need to
Yeah, yeah.
consider
The
the
side of the
equipment.
processing or plant.
Yes, plus all the legal requirements for staff safety, etc. So, and then the equipment, when it gets to the startup level for international market, what could we start with, for example? Because perhaps all of that equipment maybe can take us over $1 million, right? So we want to know, like, on a startup level, would I be able to start with, like, you know, the starch making machine at, you know, what was that quotation we got, Will? The one from what was the lady, Cassidy or whatever her name was? The one of
Oh,
150,000.
150,000 from
The
Tiffany.
lady in China. Remember, she
Yeah,
gave
Tiffany.
us, yeah, what was the output again on that?
I think it's 12 or something a day, 12, 10 or something. I can't remember exactly,
Okay.
but
But I
I got
think it
what
was
you
six,
mean.
on the bigger machine was 60, I think, right? 60 tons. But
Yeah,
would
yeah,
that
yeah.
put us in the market on a 60 tons a day? Would that put us into the market? So basically, just those were my three questions. The recommended output that would allow us to still engage the international market, the space requirement, minimum space requirement, and also the minimum equipment cost that we could use to get started with. Okay, thanks. That's it.
Okay. So before that, let me see if Mr. Tao want to share something his capability, and before we go to that detail, just give the team understanding and rather than the presentations of the company profile, and maybe he want to share. So anyway, the team look at the on the video now on the camera, and Mr. Tao in the meeting room in his company, and I just want to introduce Mr. Tao to everybody. He owned the factory, he owned everything, and he's supporting us. I'll really appreciate Mr. Tao joining the meeting today to participate and to helping people to understand. So, 曹总，你要不要那个什么，就是快快的给一些什么案例还是什么，就直接回答他的问题了。
我分享一些照片和视频吧，然后再回答问题，看行不行？
好。Yeah, so let Mr. to share some his capability and his project before, and then we could go to the quick Q&A. I'll write down your notes already, so I'll ask the question again once Mr. share the detail later.
Okay.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. Let's share some our project in the Liguria. Some pictures or some video. This is the project of the capacity of the 18 tons per day in Liguria.
18 ton output
18 tons.
or raw material. Is that a output? Okay. So Lee, that's 18 ton. Mr. Tao sharing.
This is the
18 or 80?
18. 18. 18.
Yes. 18. Not 180, 80 tons.
80.
Oh, sorry, apologize.
80.
80.
80 tons,
Okay.
not 18.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm.
So this factory built by us last year.
Mm.
You can check. This is the key equipment we call the centrifugal. It's used for to separate the fiber and the starch. And this is the flash dryer to dry the cassava starch.
Mm.
Oh, this is some video. This
Is that
the
a
machine.
separator?
No. This is the machine which dewatering the reduce the water from the starch.
Okay.
This is the machine which clean the raw material of cassava. So this is the whole factory. What's their operation over the starch from starch. Okay. So this is the project in Liguria, and next I will introduce the uh, cassava starch process line in Vietnam. This is the hydrocyclone, the machine which can separate the protein and the fine fiber from the starch. And this is the biogas, which caused by the seawater through wastewater. And this process line is combined with the modified starch process line. I have prepared some documents. So if you all need these documents, I can send these documents to your email.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Tao. Yeah.
And this is the 3D design. You can see. The capacity is the 240 tons per day, with 120 tons per day of the modified starch process time. OK，刘总，要不你让他们就是说，就是直接问一些问题吧，然后我这边直接。
OK，
I
丽
have
刚才
a
问了几个问题
question.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
我听得懂。
That's what we need.
Okay, I have a question about the difference between the regular starch and modified starch. Is it in the end usage or it's in the processing? What is the difference between regular starch, cassava starch, and modified starch?
Lee, I think I can answer the question, but I'll give it to Mr. Cao. 曹总，他说那个普通的那个淀粉和变性淀粉的区别是什么？我想呢，可能更多的关注于流程上。我可以回答这个问题，但是呢，不一定正确。要不然你先说一下。
是这样的，就是原淀粉它是一种天然的物质，然后呢，它相对于变性淀粉来说，变性淀粉应用的领域会更多。就是说，变性淀粉相对于普通淀粉来讲的话，因为我们有很多其他的应用领域，比如说工业领域，比如说我们医用领域，包括化工领域，所以说原淀粉它是一种天然的物质，它不能说直接应用在这些领域，所以说需要在原淀粉的基础上去让它去改变它的那种本身的那种性质，以适用于那些我们需要应用的那些领域。刘总麻烦翻译一下啊。
那这样的话，其实那么原淀粉、变性淀粉，我理解应该就是原淀粉加工完了，我的变性淀粉的原材料就是原淀粉，加入其他的东西把它变性掉。
对对对。
OK， 他们两个这是流程上。
工艺是不一样，对。
Haley, to answer the question, from the processing, the starch, the cassava starch, the raw cassava starch, or we call that original cassava starch, is coming from what we have shared today. But modified starch is the raw material is the cassava starch. That's the raw material, which are complete already, adding all the different elements to modify the property of the cassava starch to further use in the refining area. For example, some food industry, all the different requirements. So based on the raw cassava starch cannot meet the requirement, they're going to use the modified. But the modified starch is coming from the raw material is cassava starch.
Okay, so it would be a more expensive product, right?
Correct.
Because,
so you need to get a starch first and then modify them.
And modified is in the sense that like are additives put in or modified in which way? Like we start with starch, but what makes it modified? Like what are they doing to it that makes it modified?
That's a cool question. I think the adding different well, you can put a chemical there and modify them, even refine them again to remove more fibers. From I think Mr. Let's see if Mr. Cao can further explain information. Maybe Mince. I'm not sure if Mince in the meeting. Maybe he probably can share more detail on that product level. 曹总他说这个像变性淀粉，它主要是以通过加入什么，就是这些设备嘛，就加入主要是设备来实现的，还是加入一些化学元素啊，或者进行高温啊，或者说是怎么来把它变性掉的？
变性淀粉现在市面上分为两种，一种是物理变性，一种化学变性。我们做的比较多的是化学变性。然后呢，其实化学变性这块设备基本上差不多的，就像我刚才展示的这些，刚才那些反应罐啊什么之类的，对吧？它设备是你可以理解是差不多的，它主要是配方不一样。所谓的配方是什么呢？就是说，不同的变性淀粉它可能应用的这种化学药剂什么东西加入的比例，包括数量，对吧？包括种类都不太一样，然后去引导它去变性。 所以说不同种类的化学变性的变性淀粉呢，区别在于这个地方，配方的不同。
Okay.
设备呢，差不多。
Okay. Hey Lee, so there's two different modified starch. One is physical change, like you increase temperature, do further refining process to change the property of the starch. The other one is adding chemicals. The two different things. Mr. South one is more for adding the chemicals to change the property. Maybe Lee, let's come back to your first three
Okay.
question. Probably, yeah. 曹总，那么我大概那么我们回到刚才那3个问题啊，就是他首先提了3个问题，就是说，因为很多可能像尼日利亚和这些国家，还有那个乌干达这些国家呢，他们可能有的是规模不一定大。他提出几个问题呢，就是说，如果他们在做这些夫妇或者其他产出的情况下，它最小它的需要产出是多大？这个工厂大概的一个尺寸。就是这些设备放进去需要多大的尺寸，再一个就是价格。
是这样的，刘总啊，就是我仔细核算了一下，我们之前所有做过的项目，其实目前来说，我们做过的产能最小，其实就是在尼日利亚的木薯，差不多多少呢？就是1小时产1吨淀粉。
1小时1吨，那
它的厂房占地面积大概多少呢？差不多是在1000平左右，就是说整个设备车间的一个面积，整个生产线可以放进的一个面积，不包括其他的仓库之类的，差不多在1000平左右。然后价格这块呢，之前我给你讲过60吨的，差不多是在400万，差不多像这样就1小时1吨，差不多一天就是24到30吨左右，差不多在300万左右。
然后20到30吨是吧？一天是吧？
对24到30吨一天。
等会儿我把它写24到30。
对，就是这样
啊
，1小时产出1吨。
一天8个，但是它是不停啊，24小时不停啊。
淀粉生产是最好不要停，因为不管开机还是关机会非常影响淀粉的品质。它开机一段时间或关机一段时间，你想想，所以说我们这个设备它就是一个
比较大是吧？
对，一道封闭的设备。然后呢，讲究的就是24小时不停的运转，然后呢，这样能保证第一个产品质量稳定，第二个产能也能达到一定的程度，对吧？不然你今天一天做8个小时，你每天只能产个几吨淀粉，然后呢，你淀粉品质也跟不上，然后产能也跟不上，这样它综合成本非常高。
OK。那我现在这种情况，比如说你现在就24小时不停转，那么OK，就是它一直在往里送料出料，是不是？比如说我如果机器不能机器空转是吧？
机器不能空转。
OK，
你肯定是要调节。对
，OK，因为我在问这个问题，他们可能会关系到，比如说我的客户订了这么多，我一直在转，是不是我会以后材料不齐 ？OK，就是他要自己计划好，不能空转。
对，要计划好。所以说这个问题，现在非洲那边其实非洲那边相对东南亚那边什么情况？非洲那边可能整年它都能生产，但东南亚你说木薯，包括薯类加工，它是季节性非常明显的一种，所以说东南亚那边他们都是巴不得一天25个小时，他25个小时都要运转。所以说这个在淀粉这个加工这个领域，这个是可以讲是我们认为是比较常规的一种方式。但可能非洲那边呢，就是包括我们现在这些客户，他可能在尼日利亚当地，他确实原料出现了一种紧缺或者收不上来的这种情况，对吧？所以说他有时候会停，但是不建议去停。
OK，那么现在就是1小时1吨，20到30一天，大概厂房1000平米。那么仓库多大储存这些？
仓库的话，你可以理解比这个厂房稍微大一点点，差不多在1200到1500左右。但具体要看你的周转啊，就是说我们周转如果说正常的，比如说1个月，就是说存1个月的货，那仓库可能不需要多大，但是我们可能客户是存3个月以上的，所以说它的这个仓库要求比较高。所以说呢，我们建议它的仓库面积呢在1200左右，我觉得比较合适。你说800行不行呢？也可以，但我们认为这样的面积比较合适。
OK，那么这个价格大概多少？这个20到30吨一天的这个产出的，这是产出是吧？20到30吨。
产出。
如果产出的话，那它进料得乘以3吧，原材料。
你按照3.6算。
3.6大概就是100吨左右一天原材料。
对，原材料差不多100吨左右。
OK，30乘以3.6。OK。
然后刘总就是，如果说他们就是说，因为我们不光是非洲客户，就东南亚的客户也是这样，就是说他们比较倾向于核心段去用，如果他预算有核心段用，然后呢前端的清洗跟后端的这个干燥。当然我不知道非洲当地的有没有，因为我们那个客户他就是自己做的，他的前端清洗跟后端干燥自己做的。但是呢，
因为当时我进那批也是一样，他们当时全手工的，因为他把流程发给我看了，他们清洗去皮都是人工弄的。然后呢，但是他做的其实不是淀粉，他做的都是粉。我为什么不能用？是因为我发给流程用不了，最后他发的是粉。也就是说可以选调性，就是像清洗啊、去皮啊这一部分它可以不用，可以降低它的成本。
清洗和干燥可以去那个比较简单，就是说你可以选用可以的设备。我们的设备其实最核心的就是我们中间段的这块设备，就是从后嘴开始，然后一直到后面的这个脱水，这个是比较关键的核心段。建议
控制看品质。
对，
这个干燥确实也挺关键的，干燥你湿度太高了，超过3%也不行。13%啊。
所以说非洲这块比较麻烦的点就在于他们好像没有这样的。对，其实我们的客户他自己具体怎么做的，这个我也没了解。但是我们东南亚
是这样，他们那个老下雨，之前我其实问他说他们有专门想买干燥设备的，因为他们老下雨，包括做其他的他干不了，还挺麻烦的。
其实干燥的像尼日利亚的，我们从货运的也不是说一个项目，其实我觉得是比较合适的，但可能这个价格确实是，如果说他们对价格有敏感，确实是比较那个。
那我们就全套应该是多少钱？这全套？
全套你按300万吧，人民币。
300，人民币300，300人民币的话，USD
40万美金吧，差不多。
170万10万 ，OK，100万，个1041万40万美金 ，OK，400。OK，all right，行，我跟他们说一下。
好嘞，好嘞。
Haley.
Hi.
Right. For the one Mr. Cao recommended for Nigeria, which he had done before, which is it's a 20 to 30, so 1 hour per ton in the whole day, 20 to 30%, 20 to 30 metric ton per day. The reason because you can't, once you start a production, you don't really want to stop the production because they're going to give you more cost. So I mean, 1 ton per hour, 1 day is from 20 to 30, depends on how many tons you're going to process within an hour. So for 20 to 30 metric ton for that's output, the input is about 3.6 multiplied is around 100 metric tons for raw material, raw cassavas, to be able to get 20 to 30 ton. Let's say 30 ton, 100 raw material input and 30 output for the cassava starch. The size of the factory is about 1,000 square meters for the factory only. Plus the warehouse, the recommendation will be 1,000 as well to 1,200 to be able to store them. If it depends on if you have the quick turnover, you might need 800 square meters because once you produce them, you might send a second day or something. You might not stay there for long. But he recommended 1,000 square meters for 20 to 30 ton cassava starch. The warehouse the same size.
Okay.
Then we go to the cost. Go to the cost for the whole. Yes, Lee.
Sorry, you mean like 1,000 square feet for storage and 1,000 square feet for production, or 1,000 square feet for both?
Separate.
Separately, so 2,000 square feet
Yes.
in total. Okay.
Yeah, but in terms of the size of the factory machinery, 1,000 square meters.
Meters, 1,000
Yeah.
square meters.
Yes,
Okay.
square meters. Yes.
Okay.
For the cost, the whole production from Mr. Cao's company TTC Group is $400,000. I also know in the country maybe the budget is limited, so there's a 2 portion for washing and drying process. And either you can pick a menu, peel the skins and wash them, and then do the concentration, refining, and filtering all the product. That's the core of the whole process to control the quality. The washing and dry process, you don't have to pick mist, or you don't have to pick in the quotation, but he didn't separate them. He just want to give team understanding. If you want to lower down a quotation, washing process and drying process, you don't have to pick from them. Either you menu or you can buy from the other factory because it's not really concerned about him. But he would highly recommend it and focus. If you want to buy from him, this after washing, before drying, you better pick from his factory because that's control the quality. But if you
So-
want to, yes, Lee.
Sorry. So you're saying that for the washing and the drying, that
Yes,
the
you can
machinery,
separate.
Mr. Tao is selling that machinery?
The 400 including them everything together. But if you want to lower down the price, washing and drying, you don't have to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I've understood.
Yeah. All right, and I think that's Mr. Tao's recommendation or his experience in Nigeria. He only did Nigeria. Yes.
Hello, and you talked about washing and processing that it might not be included if we don't want it to be included. Where would we source that to? How would we be able to do that? Because I believe that's the beginning of the process itself. So how do
Yeah,
we intend to do that?
Yeah, Barack, that's a good question. That's a very, very good question. And I think I'm not sure for drying process for peeling and washing. I think you can do manual or you can. Well, what Mr. Tao is trying to run, you can if some factory has a cheaper option, you can buy from them, or you can do manual. But if you want to open that discussion further, how do we do manual peel and control? We probably have to discuss further on. But yes, you don't have to pick. You can, but you don't have to pick from them. Maybe the price is going to be lower.
So we'll just to follow up on that.
Sure,
If we
yes.
have, yeah, because I've seen a factory that is doing it manual because labor is cheap, so they are very accustomed to that, and they do wash it. They peel it, they wash it, and then. So if the input is like after washing, so then we need only what would be the minimum budget to process it to storage line?
OK，曹总，如果说没有清洗和干燥这些，他们完全可以，比如说晾晒、手动完成，那么最少的预算是多少？
没有清洗和干燥，就是说完全靠手动。
对，
但是这个量的话，靠手动的话可以，
更困难是吧？
这个量肯定是靠手动是不现实的。
只能说从别人那买便宜设备。
比买便宜设备、买二手设备比较现实这样子。他们有没有预算啊？这种？
我可以问问，但是应该每个人，因为里面就是人比较多，估计每个人预算不同。我会收集这些信息，比如说你有一些问题，我会后期跟他们收集一下。
对，如果说价格说跟我们这个差的，比如说差的不是很那个的话，我们再去考虑，或者说我从配置上再去给你那个。如果说差的特别多的话，那我觉得就是它
就不是一个
要，
就是要的东西就不一样了，就是他的需求和就是供需方不一致了。
对他要的东西可能不是我们这种设备，他可能要的是那种非常简单的，或者说就是说手动化的，每个设备都是单独手动化的这样子一套设备。
那可能就不会是20、30，我估计可能就是一天可能就5吨，那可能能处理过来。
可能一天差不多5吨差不多，因为确实是有那种1小时出个几百公斤的那种设备。
你这没有是吧？
我这严格来说可以做，但是是属于定制化的，因为你知道，就是说我们其实有时候不是说设备，当然设备越大，材料当然越多，然后价格越高。但是呢，有时候恰恰因为我们做的这个生产线，比如说120吨、240吨，做的标准化过后，因为标准化，所以说那些设备的成本低了。反而那种做的很小很小的那种，需要重新定制的话，它价格其实不低，这样子性价比不高。所以说
就是有限，低的有限。
对，低的有限，它不是说我60吨跟120吨差的是2倍的价，它不是这样差的，可能120吨比60吨就高个30%的价格，但是呢，它就能产能扩大1倍，它属于这样的一个情况。
OK， 好，我跟大家说一下。It's Mr. Tao recommended you can purely manual, probably not even gonna help, but it's probably not possible for 20 to 30 ton output. So either you buy the second hand, or some factory already cassava powder already got a washing machine. You don't have to buy a new one. That's what he's trying to say is you don't have to buy everything, but the after washing and before drying, if you want to buy from him, he had to supply that to control the quality. But is there any cost and negotiation discount? He said open for it. But if they're too far with 400, like 100, maybe that's the request and sell and buy not the same page. But he said he's happy to supply any questions. He also can do small towns, but he recommend doesn't mean smaller is cheaper. The reason the size he recommended is good because he has done that before. He has all the tooling, everything ready there. Don't have to open a new one. That's give a better condition. But he can do the small one. But he said otherwise, unless for example 10 factory order together, he can lump sum together with the tooling cost. Maybe it's a good proposal, but only for individual, probably not a good solution for him.
Okay, I understood.
All right.
刘总，
OK. Yes， 曹总。
我打断一下，刘总，就是我们目前的木薯这一块做的最小的就是尼日利亚这个，但是呢，我们做那个在江苏那边做了一条藕粉线，差不多一天产能也就5吨这样的，然后价格在什么位置呢？价格在190万成交价，我直接跟你这么讲
，190万人民币。
对，但是它对一个人民币，但是呢，它相对那个木薯的话，设备要如果说要把那个藕粉线改成木薯线的话，需要增加设备。它就是藕跟木薯它是2种原材料，它在前端的清洗，然后中间的加工需要增加一定的设备，所以说价格可能比这个价格还要高一点点，这样子。
OK， 行。So Mr. trying to say is he got the other starch processing one day for 5 tons. If he want to convert that to be for cassava starch 5 tons a day, what he's trying to say is doesn't even cheaper than 400. 400 because he need to add a new one, modify the existing process. Hey Gafa, yes. You got a question?
Good morning, everybody. Thank you very much. Hey. This together,
William. You're welcome.
Thank you very much. This is very enlightening, and it will go a very, very long way, linking OEMs to Nigerian players in the cassava starch industry. Kudos to you. Thank you very much for that. So, my first question is, I would like to know what you said for the factory. Now, that 400,000, is that the gross or is it the net? In terms of, is that just the cost for the factory? We would like to know what the total cost would be in terms of cost for the factory, shipping it. Do you understand? So we can know what the cost is, know what the net is, streamline it down to what byproducts or what lines we would want. Do we want the cassava starch line? Do we want the chips line? So by the time we can break that down, we will be able to advise clients who are setting up cassava starch in across the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria in terms of import and exporting costs, moving the commodities from the farm gates to the processing plant, then exporting it. So we'll be able to do a cost benefit analysis and see which of the lines are more productive for our clients. So if you can address that issue, I'll really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I think that's not for. I think that probably for before I can ask the question. But before that, cassava chips and cassava starch are completely different processing. And哎，曹总，那个你这个价格是出厂价还是 FOB 的价格？
可以给 FOB 的价格。
这是 FOB 价格是吧？那么大概运费呢？这一套设备几个集装箱能过去啊？
这套按照我们之前的项目经验的话，差不多在18个到20个柜子。
那运费你有估算吗？有没有知道多少钱吗？
运费去非洲这边运费，因为我们公司这个就是说负责运费这一块，也不是我们单独负责，这个我得问一下。
行 ，OK，okay. Hey Gafa, and for that price is FOB price, and it's about the whole production process to Nigeria. Last time Mr. Tall got is about 18 containers. How much he doesn't know, he need to check it out. How much for the shipping cost? That will be added on top of the 400. But the 400 including all the documentation in China, export everything in China, and loading everything on the vessel. But the shipping cost is not included, and insurance cost is not included as well. But insurance cost in general is 1%. What do you call that? 0.1% for the insurance. But Mr. Tao will try to check last time shipping cost, and I will feedback to the team after that. And for cassava starch, Mr. Tao is not for it's a different processing, not for Mr. Tao. Cassava chips, sorry. I got a leave to me. I'll try to consolidate the answer for the starch and shipping cost, and you can sort of understanding. But we have 4 minutes left only, guys. Apologize. I need to move on to Lee. Hey Lee, you got another question?
Okay. Hi, sorry, I'm having some network issues, but I think my questions are still standing. So one, on the 400,000, we are talking about production, right? I got confused about the shipping FOB to China or FOB where?
FOB China port.
I thought China port.
FOB China.
Oh, okay. China. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So the 400,000 is not just equipment and production, it's including shipping to China? Or this is the
Not
equipment
included.
shipping to China?
No included. So FOB, everything go to the China port, and the shipping cost, 18 containers, plus the tax in Nigeria, for example, is not included.
Oh, okay. So 18 containers is what it takes to ship the equipment.
Yes, to Nigeria, and then so the clients have to pay for the tax. I don't know, maybe 5%. I don't know the detail, but plus the local freight.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
delivery
so
support.
everything will be
Oh,
different.
sorry,
But okay.
yeah, you got it, yeah.
Yeah.
Roughly, I think probably
Yeah.
similar. All right.
Okay, I have
Thanks, Lee.
another. I
Yes.
have another question. Okay,
Yes.
on that 400,000, is that including? Okay, there's like a group of questions here. The 400,000, is it including the engineer training? Some of the quotations, like the one we got from the lady, her quotations, they also include engineer training, because once we have the equipment, how do we run the equipment? We have to have some specialized training, right?
Yeah, I gotcha. Yes，曹总，你那个报价包含售后的零件和那个培训吗？
包含1年的配比配件。然后呢，培训是就是说我们到现场，然后我们会技术员到现场帮你去第一个做安装指导，第二个呢人员培训这样。
OK，这是不是有额外付费单独付费啊
我刚才给的价格可以包含这些。
？OK，这就可能就如果价格谈的太多了，可能就会我明白了。大概还有400。
但是人员的那些在现场的这些需要就是说业主方，因为在非洲这边嘛，我们在国外组织，业主方需要去安排他们的住宿啊，包括这种食宿这一块的费用肯定是业主方那边的。
那机票什么的？
机票这边就是我们在安装期间呢我们自己出，但是安装培训完了过后，以后的售后，那我们肯定是要相对收取一定的费用。
OK，那像那大概培训多长时间？
我们一般像这样指导安装差不多在2个月这样顺着。
就这个人一直在那待2个月是吗
对，我们的非洲尼日利亚的项目就这样，我们这边过年都没回来，然后一直在那边，然后也是到今年差不多3、4月份才3月份清明前回来。
Okay. Hey, Lee, I think we have 2 minutes left only. So that could including the aftermarket for 1 year warranty and also including the engineering support as well. But cover the flight, but not cover the living expenses in Nigeria and all the local expenses. But people covered, flight covered, living experience, hotel, or renting the property not covered. The whole total training process took about 2 months until the plant can running itself perfectly. I mean, can running like 2 months, you can provide the training covered. But the cost additional will be local expenses for the hotel or renting an apartment or like food, everything. But the people covered, flight covered. Okay. You go. Sorry, I have to. Sorry for cutting off. You go. You raise your hand a few times. What's your question?
Yes, I was curious about, here in Nigeria, we usually produce gari and fufu. So I'm curious, is there any machine that actually can produce gari and fufu and also produce starch from the same products, from the same cassava? The machine will produce both gari and starch, or fufu and starch? That's my question.
Okay, so I think Mr. Tao's company does provide a processing machinery for fufu and gari. That's different processing. You can't use the same product line to produce both. But if you want to get a cost, I can ask Mr. Tao after the meeting.
Okay, no problem. I would really appreciate that.
No worries. Seems like our meeting's not cut. That's fine. Keep going. I thought because 6:30 my meeting gonna automatic cut. It's okay. 曹总，这个 meeting 现在就大概这么样，还可以继续进行。然后呢，他问一个问题，就是你们公司也提供，okay. So got for fufu and Mr. Tao is able to do it. And if you need cassava flour, he's expert in this area, but he's not trying. But for the gari and because it involved for fermentation and then the fry process, he won't. He just said hey, so he won't focus on flour and starch. Yes, Lee.
Okay, I just had another question about the expertise. For example, if we had set up the factory and we call Mr. Tao to come to join us here, what?
Yes, Lee, are you still there?那曹总，你还能听到我说话吗？
能听到，能听到。
Lee 可能断线了。
Hi, sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, did you hear me?
We can now. Yes, Lee, you come back now again.
So my question. Did you hear my question? My question was,
No.
which experts would he expect to find on the ground, like when he's coming to train for the 2-month period, right? Which experts should we already have on board in order for us to be able to operate the machinery correctly? You would expect to see who?
Okay, gotcha. You mean the roles? When the machine come over here, the engineer come here, who in local like electricians and who gonna support the implementation, installation, and
I think it's really important we have a list. Yeah.
OK， 曹总，那个Lee有个问题，就是当所有的培训设备到了，培训人员到了以后啊，本地需要什么人才来配合？就是要有的。
刘总是这样的，我现在就有一个越南的200吨的项目在做。正常的配置是什么呢？我们这边技术人员，包括我们技术人员不是一位啊，可能是涉及到好几位，包括什么电器啊、机械，它可能分批去，就是轮流去这样子。然后呢，当地的这种安装需要的配合的呢，就是说第一个焊工，第二个力工，然后这样人员数我也可以给你提供一下，就是我们在越南项目上焊工，他这边提供的是6位，然后力工的话提供的是8位，这样子，这是最基本的一个配置，就是说现场安装的话。
地工
就是地工就是负责，就是说现场就你可以理解，就是像这种小工啊，就是帮忙打杂啊，或者说抬运啊这种工作这样子。
主要是焊工啊。
焊工非常关键，对。
你像什么电工什么的呢？
电工啊，
你这不接电吗？不得接电吗？
电工当地只需要个1位就行了，这个不需要太多人。
OK。电工、焊工，还有帮忙的小工。
小工差不多对。
核心就是你焊接的东西比较多。
焊接的东西比较多，特别像这种干燥，包括前端的清洗，它需要做很多平台去固定，包括中间的核心呢，它需要做很多平台去固定，都是需要焊接的。所以说焊工的这块工作量比较大。所以说我算了一下，总共的人员差不多就是15个人吧，这样子，需要当地去配合这样。
那剩下就是叉车之类的东西，对吧？
叉车之类像那些地工什么的，你不都可以做吗？对吧？我讲的地工也不光是做搬运类的，对吧？ 比如说严苛一点，你说把插车类，我也把它算成立功之类了。
Okay. Lee, for that side of the factory, the welder is critical. It's about 6 welders to welding all the structure and for the machinery. 6 welders plus 8 like just normal workers for helping transport, moving things, and 1 electrician.
Okay.
In total, it's about 15 people for to be able to install that.
Okay. So like eight laborers basically.
Yeah, 8 laborers plus 6 welders and technicals.
6 welders and 1 electrician. That's the team he would want ready for him when his people come on the ground.
Yeah, 15 people in total. 6 plus 8 plus 1.
Okay. Now I have one last question, just one last one. I also have to run off to a meeting. So
Yes.
my last question is that if someone were to engage this investment, how hard or difficult or how easily would they be able to access market buyers? Like, for example, if we start producing starch at 30 tons, 20 to 30 tons per day, right? Who are we selling
Yeah.
to? Like, is that a heavily demanded product that we wouldn't have problems offloading? Or, you know what I mean? Like, if you, that's a big investment. You're looking at about $500,000 to about $800,000, including like land and everything like that. So let's even put it up to $1 million, even at $1 million investment. So like I saw the people who use starch, that's different, that they use starch, but like for offloading the starch that you produce, is it difficult or is it a highly demanded that once it's there, it's gone kind of thing?
Okay, so I probably have to. I'm not sure if Min's in the meeting. I'll ask Min to join the meeting as well. So that will depend on because Mr. Tao is only from machinery. That will depend on at this stage China has 2 million southern tons import per year, but in terms of the in terms of the buyers who are going to buy and are they going to buy, I think it's more for competitors with Southeast Asia, Vietnam and Thailand. One thing is Vietnam and Thailand has 0% tax to China, and Nigeria, Ghana has 10% for starch, and 20% for flour powder. So I think market is there. It's cost driven, and from Nigeria, Uganda to China will be about 30 days. Let's say 20 to 30 days average shipping lead time, and Thailand and Vietnam is 5 days. So they do have their strengths, but I think to answer the question will be market driven and competitors as well. Demand is there.
Okay.
Demand is there.
Demand is there. Okay, great.
Okay. All right. Do we have more questions? All right. So if you guys have further questions or anything, send me the message either in TikTok or WhatsApp or emails because I will post the record everything and email in the meeting invitation. You can find my emails. You can also send back email to me, and or ask anything on the messenger as well. Let me ask us. 曹总，你还有其他问题吗？
刘总是这样的，就是我这边想了解一下他们当地的这个原料的价格怎么样。
Okay, Lee, and I got a question probably for you. Do you know or anyone knows the local raw material cost?
The raw material cost in
Yeah, for the
Uganda for the cassava itself. Yes. Yeah, you can range anywhere.
In Nigeria.
Yes, probably Lee, you can go first. All right. Okay.
Yes,
so
you can.
You go first.
Right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Let him go first.
Okay. Olu,
Yeah.
you can. Olu, maybe you can go ahead.
In Nigeria, the cost of cassava without processing, it differ based on the location you are. In the western region of Nigeria, the cassava is more bigger and is cheaper. In the northern part of Nigeria, is not as big as that of the western part.
but is expensive. So any distribution from the north is quite expensive because of the distance and the cost of transportation. Now the cost of it based on metric tons is different. It's different based on these two regions. We have the northern region and we have this southern region. The southern region is close to the port, which is Lagos, while the northern region is far to the port, which is like Niger State, Kogi State, Zamfara, and we produce more too in Benue State, and we have so many where we can get it. So, and it's much over there. I can give you the breakdown. I don't know if you need the cost from the farm to the shipment. Which one do you prefer?
Maybe from the out of the farm. I mean, not including local freight, just out of the farm.
All on the farm. Like in the southern place where I am presently, in the southern place where I am presently, from the farm, I think for farm you will get it per metric ton. That is going to be. Let me make my calculation. I will get back to you because of the
You
cost.
can tell me. You can tell me the kilo
Yeah.
as well. Nigerian naira. You can tell me the local currency. That's fine. I can do the conversion.
It's okay. But that's per kilogram in local Nigerian market. From the farm, you get it per kilo at the rate of that's that per kg that's 27 naira per kg.
Okay,
27
27.
naira. Yes, within
Okay,
range of 27 naira to 30 naira per kg.
okay, 27 naira per kg. That will be 1.7 cents US dollars.
Yes.
Okay, is that including freight cost more expensive?
Yes, it's
I
more
mean,
expensive including
of course. But how much more? I mean, is it going to be heavily more or?
yes, it's going to be heavily more because I'm presently me. I have over that's about 25 acres of land of cassava planted presently, and within my farm locality, we have people with 100 hectares of land, which I can as well consult, and we can co-op together and bring out a huge metric tons of cassava. But if we should transport the cost of freight to outside the farm is a little bit expensive. So we'll be having at least like on per kg, we'll be having at least that's 5 naira per kg.
Yep.
Are you getting me? That means to the town, not to Lagos, where the shipment can take place, but to the town. But in that locality as well, we wanted having a processing plant. The community has given us 2 acres of land where we can put our machine. Then we can process and also give you a total of any tons of starch you want, but the machinery is what we don't have.
Okay, gotcha. So, all right. So let me yeah. If although if you can share some breakdown later after the meeting, that would be perfect. I'll give let me tell the information. 何总，他这样，他大概是1毛7，就是从农场出来啊，不含运费，因为南北不一样，北边呢就是运输不太发达，而且价格比较高，南边呢要低一些，大概出来是1毛7美金1公斤。
1.7美金1公斤。
1毛7大概是170一吨吧。
170一吨是吧？
对，1毛7的话，0.017。